Um, Picture this for a second. You are standing on the 18th green.
Oh yeah, the pressure is totally on.
Exactly. You've got like an 8-foot putt to win your match. You line it up, you take a deep breath, and you make what feels like an absolutely flawless stroke.
Right, the kind of stroke you dream about.
Yeah. I mean, you hit it dead center on the putter face, your rhythm was perfect, and then the ball just, it misses 2 inches to the right.
It is so incredibly frustrating.
It really is. And naturally, you walk off the green thinking your stroke betrayed you. But what if I told you that your stroke really was perfect, but your eyes actually lied to you before you even pulled the putter back?
That is the harsh reality for, well, the vast majority of golfers. You're walking off that green reacting to a completely false set of data.
Wow.
Because you saw the ball miss with your own 2 eyes, right? So you immediately blame your stroke, and you never even question the foundational premise of the putt.
Well, welcome back to our deep dive, everyone. Over our last few sessions with you, we've thoroughly explored the macro elements of putting.
We really have covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we've talked about distance control, speed control, the art of green reading, and just understanding the general physics of the golf ball.
Right, the broad strokes.
Exactly. But today, we are zeroing in on the ultimate microelement that sits right in the middle of all of it. We're using the comprehensive report on aiming with Puttalyze to ask one simple question. Can you actually start the ball on your intended line?
And it sounds so simple, but it's really the single most important question in putting.
So what does this all mean?
Well, what's fascinating here is that we are finally moving away from opinions and, feel. We are diving straight into the biomechanics and launch physics that dictate whether a putt ever truly had a chance to go in.
Because if you cannot start the ball on the intended line, your read just becomes irrelevant.
Entirely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Your speed control becomes irrelevant. Even trying to properly evaluate your stroke mechanics becomes essentially impossible.
Which means we are dealing with an invisible saboteur at impact. I just marvel at how something so crucial is essentially hidden from us. But I want to start by looking at the mechanics. If my putter is traveling perfectly down the target line like a pendulum, doesn't that perfect path force the ball to go straight?
That is such a common assumption, but the physical data actually proves the exact opposite.
Wait, really?
Yeah, correct. Aiming requires the putter face to be perfectly square to the intended line. The putter face actually dictates a staggering 92% of the ball's start direction.
Wait, 92%?
Yep, 92. Even a flawless tour-level stroke path cannot save a poor face angle. The margins are just terrifyingly small.
Like, how small are we talking?
Well, the math in the report shows that just a 1-degree open face at impact will cause a golfer to completely miss an 8-foot putt.
1 degree. I mean, think about how microscopic a 1-degree rotation is during a dynamic athletic movement.
It's barely anything.
Right. But wait, I have to push back on this premise of invisibility for a second. Let's say I'm working with a top-tier golf instructor, right?
Yeah, sure.
And they are standing right beside me, watching my posture, my setup, my putter path. Shouldn't they be able to see if I aimed wrong by a degree?
You'd totally think so. But nobody, not even the best coach in the world, can accurately see the exact face angle or the amount of face rotation at the exact millisecond of impact.
Because it just happens too fast.
Exactly. I mean, they can't see the launch angle or the subtle twist of the putter face. The human eye simply cannot process movement at that speed with enough precision. It's a literal blind spot in human perception.
So if my coach can't see it and I can't see it, we end up trying to diagnose the wrong problems, don't we?
And that leads us right into the trap of false feedback. Because we can't physically see those impact dynamics, we make assumptions.
Okay, let's unpack this. It's almost like taking heavy medication for a stomachache when you actually have a broken rib.
That is a great way to put it.
You're trying to cure a disease you don't even have. So a player might think, oh, I pushed the putt, or maybe I misread the break.
Right, but in reality, the issue is likely a 0.8-degree open face, or maybe too much dynamic loft, or just an unstable shaft delivery.
And because of that false feedback, the body starts creating compensations.
Exactly. The hands start to manipulate the club, the forearms react, your tempo changes, and suddenly your confidence completely disappears.
And this totally wrecks your ability to read greens, too. Because let's think about the physics of the roll. Faster putts break less because gravity has less time to pull them, right?
Correct. And slower putts, or downhill ones, break more.
So if your start direction is off because your face was open, gravity is now acting on the ball from the completely wrong position on the slope.
Yep, making all your break calculations entirely invalid before the ball even rolls 2 inches. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Puttalyze data really highlights excessive face rotation as a major culprit here.
What do they consider excessive?
The system recommends less than 15 degrees per second of face rotation at impact. Anything higher produces a highly unstable delivery.
Because you're relying too much on timing.
Exactly. It becomes highly dependent on perfect millisecond timing, which falls apart under pressure.
Wow. Okay, so I'm creating compensations, I'm manipulating the face, but what if the problem isn't actually my body? What if the problem is the putter itself?
Now we're getting into equipment sabotage. A lot of golfers assume their technique is flawed and endlessly search for technical fixes.
I do that all the time.
Right. But often, a proper fitting isn't about buying a beautiful putter. It's about finding the most stable face delivery and the cleanest start direction possible.
Let's break down some of these specific equipment issues. Like, what about putter length?
If a putter is too long, it pushes your eyes inside the ball, which naturally causes you to close the face.
And if it's too short?
It causes excessive bend at the waist, which leads to an unstable arc.
What about lie angle? Does that actually matter on a flat green?
Oh, absolutely. If the toe is up in the air, the face geometrically points to the left. If the heel is up, it points right.
That is wild. But wait, if I go to the golf store and drop $400 on the exact same putter that the pros use on TV, shouldn't that automatically give me a good roll?
That is the biggest myth out there. Not every putter fits every stroke.
Seriously?
Yeah. Even the visual alignment lines on a high-end putter can trick a specific player's eyes into aiming left or right.
Just based on how their individual brain processes the lines.
Exactly. And if the putter style, like a blade versus a mallet or toe hang versus face balance, doesn't match your biomechanics, your body will instinctively manipulate the face to compensate.
So our eyes lie to us, our brain gives us false feedback, and our expensive equipment is secretly sabotaging us.
Pretty much.
I mean, how do we uncover the absolute truth here?
This is exactly where modern launch analysis technology steps in. We have to measure reality.
Like Puttalyze, Quintic, and SamPuttLab.
Yes, those systems are no longer optional at a high level. They measure exactly what happens at impact so we can finally rectify it.
Because Puttalyze isn't just looking at the putter, right? It combines green reading, launch physics, ball roll, speed analysis, and putter fitting all into one system.
That's the magic of it. It takes all the guesswork out.
The report gives a specific mathematical example that I thought was amazing. Let's say you have a 4-meter putt on a 13-foot stimp green with a 1% slope and a 45-degree angle.
Most people would just stand there and guess the break.
Right, but the system doesn't guess. It mathematically calculates an aim point of 0.27 meters and a distance point of 0.48 meters.
With zero guesswork or interpolation, it gives you a precise coordinate.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. The concept of true roll. I always pictured the golf ball just sitting flat on the grass.
Most people do. But the reality is, the golf ball initially sits in a tiny depression or a nest in the grass.
You have to get it out of that nest.
Exactly. The ideal launch angle is actually 0.75 degrees to 2.5 degrees positive.
Which means we actually need a little bit of loft.
Yes, too little loft causes the ball to drive straight into the grass surface and skid.
Like rolling a tire into a pothole.
Exactly. And too much loft makes it hop and become airborne, which also ruins the roll. Correct launch lifts the ball gently out of that grass nest, minimizing the skid and promoting early true roll.
So delicate. The physics of those first few inches really dictate the entire putt.
They absolutely do. And that is the future of putting instruction.
Just having the actual data.
Right. Not guessing, not relying on opinions or a vague sense of feel, measured reality.
Because once you can actually see measured reality, you can finally build the correct feel.
Because real feel comes from understanding truth.
Which ties into their core putt drill philosophy, right?
Yes, training the cerebellum for instinctive speed based on actual measured parameters.
So what we've learned today is that aiming is far more than just pointing the putter at the hole. It is a highly precise integration of accurate green reading, face alignment, stable launch conditions, optimized fitting, and reliable biomechanics.
That's a lot of moving parts.
It really is. Putting is just a game of precision where one single degree changes absolutely everything.
Without a doubt.
Well, to you listening, if you liked this type of deep dive and would like us to continue researching and discussing advanced topics in golf performance, please subscribe to the channel.
We love to have you along.
And even more importantly, send us your ideas. Tell us what you would like us to research, what part of the game confuses you, or what area of putting and golf performance you would like us to investigate next. Anything golf-related is welcome.
The more specific, the better.
Exactly. We're really looking forward to building this journey together.
And before we go, I want to leave you with one final, lingering idea to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
We know that 92% of your start direction is dictated by face angle.
Huh.
And simply resting your putter on the ground with the wrong lie angle can shift that face angle without you even realizing it.
Right.
So, is it possible you have never actually aimed straight in your entire golfing life?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Think about that next time you step onto the practice green.